Hey guys, welcome back to Angel Angela. And on this podcast, I wanted to talk to you guys about how the narcissist will cause you to snap. When you're dealing with a narcissist, a true narcissist, they will make you snap. And it's going to be inevitable, meaning that it's guaranteed. If you're dealing with a narcissist, they're going to make you snap, not just because of the gaslighting, not just because of the lies, but because they gossip so much. They've been gossiping about you from the moment they've met you to where other people, flying monkeys, will snap on you, right? This is very important for me to come on here and talk to you guys about this, because the sad truth, the reality of it, people want to sugarcoat a lot of the things that the narcissist does to make you feel better, to make you feel like, these people get their karma. And, of course, narcissists get their karma, but that doesn't mean that they're not playing a game. It doesn't mean that they're not playing to win. When the narcissist is hunting for prey, they're not going to let anyone get in between that, first of all. And this is when they become aggressive, and you'll tell yourself, months, years later, how did I let this person get away with so much? You thought to yourself, being a good person and waiting for karma, waiting for these things, but you know that the whole time you were blocking karma and your blessings at the same time. You were sacrificing yourself almost willingly, even though, looking back now, you weren't conscious enough to know what was going on. So, the narcissist some way, somehow manipulated you to give yourself all the way, to the point where you just don't have boundaries. You just become this person's slave, and they're molding you for their own purpose. And sometimes you think they really didn't get a lot out of the relationship, but they got your time, and that's all they needed. They needed time. They were, supply is time to them. They're buying time, searching for other supply, molding other supply, breaking people down. And while they're breaking everyone down so people don't get ahead of them, they're molding someone to have all of these great characteristics of all these different empaths that they've came across, and they're molding that person to value all these things that you once valued. And now you're like part of this world that you don't recognize, and you're trying to get back into that world, and you're watching someone else live your life with the narcissist. And the narcissist, it almost feels like they got away with it, right? So that's the reality of it. People want to sugarcoat that, the narcissist just gets their karma. And even though they have to deal with karma in other ways, because energy doesn't die and it comes back around, they're just dealing with that energy with someone else, and that still doesn't make you feel good. So when it comes to, narcissists, you have to almost see this person, as a predator, someone who is raping, killing, molesting, sexually harassing people, exploiting people, stealing from people. This person goes around until they get caught, right? And you're like, okay, by the time they get caught, they've already done all these things. They've already hurt all these people. And they got to get away with a lot of stuff. Some of these narcissists get caught till they're old, and then some of them, they die. And you're like, oh, I remember this narcissist did something to me, but they're dead, right? and you feel like you don't get that closure, and that causes you to want to snap. This is why I said the narcissist will make you snap. I know I had that little vein, on the forehead, like, to the point where this person, had me so out of my mind, to the point where I'm like, that little vein was popping out, like, right on the middle of my forehead, of the anger, the frustration. And I'm like, where did this vein come from? I've never seen this before. And, once, you move on from these situations, you're looking at yourself, you look healthy again. Now it's like, I don't see any vein on my forehead, but it lets me know the breaking point that I was in, to the point that the stress, you could see it on my face. And they will get you to that breaking point, because a lot of narcissists do not get caught for a lot of the things that they do. They get away with a lot of stuff. And some of them, a lot of them, they do things where it's like they want to be exposed. They want to be caught. It's almost like, at this point, I'm turning myself in. I've gave you all the evidence there is. There's no more gaslighting. Someone get me. And it's like nothing happens, right? You're like, how are these sick people, these sick, twisted people getting away? And then you have empaths that are literally snapping all the time, putting themselves in bad situations where now they're being incarcerated. They lose everything. And now the narcissism in them starts to grow, because now they're only focused on survival, meaning that they don't care who they have to use, because they feel like someone did that to them. Someone exploited them. Someone, took away certain goals or chances and opportunities. And now this person feels like they need supply. And the narcissist sees it coming. They see what's going to happen. They see you at your lowest. They already have a plan B. And now they're looking at you like, people fall out of love whenever, that's normal. People fall out of love. If it was a normal relationship, you would accept that, because you would feel yourself falling out of love too. But the thing is, you haven't fell completely out of love, because you still believe that they are that character that they showed you, and that character is not really them. And this person's basically telling you to let them be happy. Just let me be happy. You're too weak. Everything I've learned from you, I've instilled in someone else, and they're listening to me. They're every step of the way I'm guiding them, and they're so grateful to me. The narcissist loves the admiration, the praise. And they're basically telling you that you have to watch them be happy. And this is what will make a lot of people snap, because the narcissist gave you clues. They gaslit you when you couldn't be gaslit anymore. You told them what you wanted, what you won't accept. They took it as a joke. They played a character with you once again. And now they're laughing at you. Now they're putting you in situations where they have everything premeditated. The narcissist never wanted you to revenge them. But they know that there comes a breaking point. They know that when you've reached that breaking point, something's going to happen. So they trap you while you're going through your emotions, when you're gaining clarity, when you're trying to survive your mental state and now you're on survival mode. Once you're on survival mode, once you look around and you see that there's narcissists everywhere, that they're like wild animals that you never saw clearly, you will snap because you're watching them get away with it. And you're coming into an awakening where you're leaving the fairy tale life behind you. The narcissist was comfortable because they knew that you had fear inside of you. The fear of growing up, the fear of change, the fear of growing, putting yourself in uncomfortable situations, being consistent. All those fears were the reason that the narcissist preyed on you. Once you don't have those fears, the narcissist knows that you're paying very close attention to them. They trained you not to go against them. Now you're huffing, you're puffing, and now you're willing to go against them. Now you're popping up. You know you're not supposed to just pop up. You're supposed to call. Now you're doing all of the things the narcissist would do to you when they were hoovering you. Now you're chasing them around. They were once knocking at your window. Now you're knocking at theirs. And they're making you look like the crazy person to the new supply. They're disrespecting you in front of the new supply. They're disrespecting you in front of their family, their friends. And these will be reasons that you'll catch yourself snapping. See, I witnessed a lot of women do things, and I would think to myself, like, what is causing them to do that? Why don't they just leave? When you're not with a narcissist, when you haven't experienced narcissism, you're looking at people crazy. This could be your parents, anyone. You're looking at people crazy. Once you get trapped into that spell and you finally snap and realize that someone's been toying with you and puppeting you around, you snap. And this is where you see people slashing tires, people breaking windows, the worst. You don't know who's the narcissist. And at that moment, the empath doesn't care about being an empath. The empath is like a wild animal. I've shared with you guys stories where, when I snapped, I'm throwing the whole rotisserie chicken, our whole lunch that we were supposed to have, I'm throwing it to the dogs because I'm so pissed. I'm leaving the narcissist stranded. And then they're telling other people, oh, this person left me stranded in the cold and this and that, but they're not telling you what they were doing. They're not telling you that they're slapping you while you're driving. So you forgive the narcissist. The narcissist actually comes at you crying in desperation. They're crying over the new supply, but they're coming to you, wanting you to wipe their tears. You're seeing the hurt in their eyes, but it's not for you. You're finding things, condoms, mattresses being flipped over. You're walking in on the narcissist. The narcissist is sleeping with your best friend, your sister, your narcissistic sister. These are things I've witnessed. This is real life. Things that people will snap over. I've seen people that are sweet grandmothers take abuse from their husbands for years. One day, sweet grannies cleaning the tub, with bleach. Husband walks in, tells her she's no good and she looks a mess. He's not attracted to her anymore. Granny knows he's been sneaking around and doing things, and Granny snaps. Granny grabs that kitchen knife and slices Grandpa real quick. Granny's in jail for stabbing Grandpa for a small, tiny little cut, doing 5 years. Granny been good the whole time. Granny been quiet. I've seen it happen. And people think it's a joke because even with me, right, I told myself I can handle a lot of the things that I was going through. I remember at the end of the relationship, one of the narcissist friends, which this was someone that he was friends with, not that long. We had been in a relationship way longer than him knowing this person. And, when you know the narcissist, their facial expressions, when they're not even talking, what they're thinking. And their friend was like giving them the eye and when you're really in love with the narcissist, you're really affectionate. You're always hugging them, kissing them. The narcissist is always teasing you. It's always, jokes and games. And you think that this person's your best friend. But there'll be moments where there's people around like this person, but they're thinking the joke is on you. And I remember, just being affectionate to the narcissist, and his friend said, "She's going to kill you." Like, he realized that, people know when you really care about someone. They can see it in your body language, the way you talk, everything. And excuse my voice right now because I am sick, but I did want to come on here and talk to you guys about this. People will look and say things, the narcissist friend said, "She's going to kill you." And I was at the point where I knew the narcissist was no good, right? You're forgiving this person. You're not thinking of their double life, triple life. You're almost trying to make it seem like it doesn't exist. The narcissist will purposely bring you around people, and they'll slowly start unmasking the things that they know you already know to make you snap on purpose. When that friend said that to me, or, to him basically, and spoke to him like I wasn't there, because his perception of me was that I had to be really dumb, right, to not know the narcissist's true self. But I knew the narcissist more than him, so I actually found it kind of humorous. And I remember telling the narcissist, "Why is your friend talking to me like he knows me, like he thinks I'm stupid or something?" "Oh, you know how guys are. I don't know why he said that. That's crazy. He's jealous. He's just jealous." And I'm knowing that I'm going to face some demons that are going to cause me to snap. And that's why, even though he didn't mean any harm in it, it's almost like the Get Out movie. Someone says something, and now, your mind is being prepared for the worst. So when all these things were happening to me, I'm thinking to myself, I've already witnessed people go through all of the domestic violence, all these things. So I have to prepare myself to make sure that when the narcissist is upset, I can calm them down. I can ignore them, you know? Then I started to realize that the narcissist knows that you're trying to de-escalate the situation. So this is why I say that the narcissist will make you snap, because it doesn't matter if you're trying to de-escalate the situation. They're just going to do something worse. You know, the narcissist knew that it was hard to get me to break out of character, to show emotion like that, as far as rage. He knew I was afraid. So there were certain things that he started to do in order for me to, get that rage out. The reason the narcissist wants to get you to this point is so that you can get out of that fantasy that predators get what they deserve. Because that's not the reality. You have narcissists that do crime after crime and puppet people around. And they're the ones hiding in the background while everyone else is doing the dirty work. So you have to understand this, because you will want to revenge the narcissist. You'll feel like, I have to revenge them. The narcissist is ready for you, and they already have a lot of booby traps set up for you. So you'll see that they'll avoid you. They don't want to come around you anymore. They don't feel safe being around you anymore. They don't feel safe being in your home, even though you've never done anything to them. But they already know out of experience. And it doesn't matter if you tell them, hey, I won't do that to you. They know you've reached your breaking point. And they've reached theirs too. They're ready to drop the mask. They're ready for you. They're ready to basically go to war with you. So they'll say things to you. They'll threaten your family. They'll say that they'll hurt someone close to you, your children, your mother, grandparents. You'll start to hear very diabolical things come out of this person, and that's why you know you're not dealing with a regular person. Now they're telling you that your close friends were flirting with them. Sometimes people are just nice to the narcissist, and they'll assume that person likes them, and they'll say things to you so that you won't even trust your own friends anymore. Sometimes they'll purposely get with narcissistic people that are your enemies, or people that don't like you, to get back at you, and then you didn't even know it happened. And at the end of the relationship, they'll tell you, that's why I slept with your friend. So they'll make you snap. They'll have other women, they'll have women, tear up your car, stalk you. They're fighting for the narcissist, and you don't even have energy to give anymore. You don't even have energy to fight, defend the relationship, and you have people attacking you. You have the narcissist baiting you. Let's just have one last conversation. Come on, I'll give you gas money. I'll get you an Uber. Come over. Let's go meet up at a nice restaurant. They'll send you flowers. They'll do anything to bait you in, and then start an argument with you, and you're like, I thought you wanted me to come to this date so that we can get things clear. Oh, we're just never going to see eye to eye. We're just really different. They'll start saying things to you to hurt you right in your heart, right in your soul. Like you never meant anything to them, because you never did. It was always a competition. Even after they want to make sure that you'll never be able to win. You'll never be able to get back up and walk. A lot of times when people snap, it happens when they least expect it. Sometimes you just have a lot of anger built inside of you that you haven't, you keep telling yourself, I forgive the narcissist, I forgive the narcissist, right? But then something happens and it just catches you off guard. And you'll think to yourself, this is just another fight, another argument. We always fight. But this time the police is knocking at your door and you can't believe it. You start getting hysterical. You can't believe the narcissist is in your house calling the police on you, and now you can't go back home, and the narcissist is living at your house. All because you snapped because you couldn't believe that they did that to you. You snapped. You started to react in front of the police, and the police felt like because you're acting hysterical, it must be you. And then you got cops that are narcissists too. And there's a whole game being played, but you just don't know the game that's being played. Then you start answering questions and you start giving the truth. Yeah, I did do that. Yeah, I did do this. Knowing if it was the narcissist, they would be denying everything. They would be denying the truth. And you're thinking you're going to get justice because you've been abused and you've been pushed. But then you have the court telling you, hey, you still snapped. It was still you who snapped. Not, you should have just left. So you have laws that are set up where it's like, if you get involved with the narcissist, it's on you. Even if you're young, even if you came from an abusive household, it doesn't matter. Because the narcissist preys on the weak, on people who are fearful. So when you think about animals will even eat their own. You have animals that when they have babies, they might have too many babies and they feel like they can't support all of them, and they'll kill and eat some of them or kill some of them so that their babies, the other babies, can be saved and they can have a meal to eat because they're low on supply. The narcissist looks at things from a survival level. They don't look at things from an empathetic level. So to them, it's like, okay, I have to eliminate these children because I can't take care of them. I can't get supply. Then whatever, child ends up being a version of them, that's the person that they are close to. Meanwhile, everyone else is competing for that person's position, and that person thinks they're always going to be there until someone surpasses that person. And now the narcissist has to become allies with that person. And that's when you see family members teaming up with other people because they figured that you've became the weakest link. And once that happens, you're playing a game and you're not even aware of it. But now there's a game that other narcissists who aren't your family are playing with you because they're studying you. They're studying your background. They're studying your friends. They're studying how your family treats you. And now they're exploiting your fears. And then they try to leave you paralyzed. And then you snap, and For the women on here, because I know that YouTube, a lot of times they don't want to target my information to like the youth, people who are, coming into adulthood. But most people, when they're 18, they think they're grown, right? When you're 18, 20, you think because you have your own apartment, you have your own house, you have your own car, you think that you're grown. You think that you understand life. And you can only understand life through experience, through wisdom. And it doesn't really matter who tells you what. You're going to do whatever you want to do. You're going to try to outsmart the narcissist, because we live in times where most people know what's going on when it comes to narcissism. And most people are caught up in their egos, just as the narcissist is caught up in their egos. And because of this, the narcissist is on competition mode right now. They're like, oh, everyone wants to be a narcissist. Everyone likes the villain. Everyone likes the bad guy. I'm always going to be steps ahead of you, because as long as you're dealing with me, I have a motive. So if you want to have fun, you want to enjoy yourself, you want to let your guard down because you don't think I'm getting anything out of it, that's okay. That's cool. The narcissist is playing dirty, meaning that they're going to get you caught up in booby traps more than ever. And a lot of empaths and people who are behaving like a narcissist are going to fall for these traps. And the narcissist's rage, their anger, will implode. And just like the empath will snap, the narcissist will snap. But they will try to get you trapped before them, because it's always about them. So it doesn't matter who they're with. If things get hard, the narcissist will sacrifice whoever they have to get to where they need to get to. So a lot of women that get into domestic violence don't understand that when they get caught up with a narcissist, they think that their life won't be impacted, but things will impact you literally in a flash of a light. When it comes to women being persecuted and women getting incarcerated by narcissists, there's a very high percentage. When you go to a women's jail, you're going to see women mostly with domestic violence cases. That's what you're going to witness first. Then you're going to witness pimping and pandering, prostitution. Then you're going to witness identity theft, writing fake checks and things like that. These are the main things you're going to find at a women's jail. All of these women, whether they're behaving in a narcissistic way, whether some are diabolical narcissists, most are in there over money and love, right? Money and love relationships. When it comes to a man's jail, a lot of men are manipulated by other narcissists. And some of these men are empaths and they end up being groomed. But these men will groom women because they will use the fact that a lot of women are emotionally driven and make them puppets to commit a lot of heinous crimes with them. And what you will see is that a lot of these men, they're in there for raping, they're in there for child molestation, they're in there for so many different things. All these narcissists, Some aren't narcissists. Some are caught up in the narcissist web. And as a woman, that is what the narcissist preys on. They prey on you taking the fall, because we live in a society now that they feel like, women need to own up, right? Women need to own up to their part of it. So you have narcissists that will use this narrative, like women are trying to use the fact that they're women, to get away from crimes that they've done. So you're going to see narcissists that will play the victim like they're the ones who've been abused. The woman is abusive. The woman trapped me. The woman is trying to make me pay child support. The woman is this, that. That's the narcissist's role. And you have women that are being attacked because they're being viewed as narcissists, because they're keeping their children from the narcissist, because they know the narcissist is crazy, because they know the narcissist is full of manipulation, lies, and drama, and crimes, a mental crime. They're committing a spiritual crime with your children. And you feel like you're going to snap because this person is messing with you and your family. A family they never wanted. A family they just had just in case things didn't work out with someone else. So, narcissists, you guys, will make you snap. You can be living a happy, joyous life, going to school, getting, far ahead in your career, getting promotions. You might be into sports, music, arts. You might have a lot going for yourself, or you might be in the middle thinking to yourself, I'm going to take a break right now and fall in love with myself. And then you think you meet your Prince Charming. And this is just, this demon that was put on your path to keep you from achieving those goals. And then they want you to stay stuck and to give up, because they know that once they get you alone and they feel like they gotten away with it, because in their mind, even if that energy is transferred, they still get off on the thought that they got away. And it's up to you to forgive, right? It's up to you to forgive and move on. And this is why when narcissists come to your path, you have to literally take a deep breath and know when not to react. You have to take a deep breath and tell yourself, this is not the battle I want to fight. You have to take a look back and think to yourself, this person must be going through something. I don't know if they're a narcissist or a narcissist has gone into their head and now they're snapping at everyone. But you have to pick and choose your battles, and take a deep breath, because you will find yourself with a narcissist being agitated, being bullied, being used, mistreated. And you're sitting there taking deep breaths, sitting next to them. And the narcissist is like, why are you taking a deep breath? And you're just agitated being with them. They're just agitating your spirit. You're just taking deep breaths, and one day you just snap. So, I wanted to just come on here and talk to, those that needed to hear this. Once you get away, you made it out, because anyone who deals with a narcissist, you're going to always be fighting for their time, their attention, fighting to get some type of empathy, from them, instead of looking at them for who they are. This person's not a human being anymore. They're not someone who is domesticated. This is like a wild animal, a wild predator, and you just don't know what type of predator that is. Is this a predator that kills his children, that eats his babies? Like, what type of predator are you dealing with? Most of the time, you don't really know who the narcissist ever was, and that's one of the reasons you snap, because you realize you never knew them. This person was playing with you, you know. The motive behind the narcissist making you snap is basically throwing you into the wilderness, you know, people viewing you as being evil because they've seen the nasty parts of you, which makes them second guess if you're really an empath, and they feel like, now you know how I feel. Just like you can't change the events that happen to you, the narcissist feels like you won't be able to change the way people view you, and that will make you self-destruct. The narcissist knows, based on experience, that once they cross the line, they're bound to commit the same crime again. So the more crimes the narcissist gets you to commit through your anger, when you rage and you finally snap, they feel like it would just be repeated when they're not around. When the narcissist finally gets you to snap, they know that if you come across identical situations, you're just going to snap again, because you were vulnerable once. So I hope that this message, you guys, was helpful. Excuse my voice. Like I said, I am sick, but I still wanted to come on here and just talk to any of you who, might be going through ups and downs with the narcissist. You're waiting for your escape plan. You're contemplating leaving. You're afraid of leaving. You're afraid of your life changing because you're leaving. But then you're playing with your life, staying with this person, because they're shortening your lifespan just being with them. So if you guys enjoyed this podcast, don't forget to like, share, comment down below. If you guys are new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe. And if you guys want to book a session with me, my booking information is on the description. Just give me about 24 hours to respond to you, and I'll talk to you guys on the next podcast. Love you guys. Bye.